I'd somehow been dropped into a novel. And of all the moments to arrive, it had to be this one. The exact second the original schmuck I was replacing slapped a divorce agreement on the table in front of his wife. That guy, the original Caleb, was the king of all simps. He let his wife's old flame walk all over him, a total doormat. But I'm not him. All I wanted was to get this divorce finalized, pocket the $100 million severance package, and spend the rest of my days living the good life. There was just one tiny detail I couldn't possibly have known. My Ice Queen wife, Victoria, she could hear my thoughts. Just sign it. I pushed the divorce agreement across the polished mahogany desk toward Victoria's sterling, my voice calm. But my mind was a screaming vortex of pure chaos. Sign it. Sign it, you Ice Queen. Don't you dare hold me back from my $100 million payday. Michelin-starred restaurants, here I come. A cellar full of vintage bourbon, here I come. A yacht full of bikini models with 8-packs, here I come. Victoria, my wife in name only, the CEO of Sterling Industries. She wore a tailored white pantsuit that probably cost more than my car, her dark hair swept up in an elegant twist that showed off the graceful line of her neck. Right now, that flawlessly beautiful face, usually a mask of cold indifference, was marred by a slight frown. She was studying me with a strange, searching look I'd never seen before. What are you staring at? Never seen a handsome guy before? I know, this face is a crime against humanity, but you can't just waste my time like this. My appointment for a deep tissue massage at the city's top spa starts in less than an hour. I'm Caleb Vance, a ridiculously unlucky guy who transmigrated into a book. 1 second, I was at my computer trashing a cheesy novel called The Billionaire's Secret Heir. The next, I was inhabiting the body of the book's pathetic main character, who just happened to share my name. The original Caleb was a lost cause. He married into the Sterling family 3 years ago and spent every moment of it getting kicked around by Victoria's high school sweetheart, Grayson Cole, and treated like furniture by Victoria herself. And he took it all with a smile. Eventually, after he stumbled onto one of Grayson's corporate schemes, he was framed as a spy, thrown out without a penny, and met a miserable end. I, however, had arrived at the perfect moment, right after Grayson's latest setup, when the original Caleb had finally lost all hope and decided to ask for a divorce. For me, this was like winning the lottery. According to the book's plot, as soon as this agreement was signed, I'd get a hardship bonus of $100 million. From then on, the world would be my oyster. I had inherited the original Caleb's memories, so I knew that beneath this pathetic facade was the heir to a global business empire. His 3 years of being a loser were just a trial set up by his powerful family to teach him humility. Well, the trial was over, and all I wanted to do was retire. Caleb, Victoria's voice finally broke the silence. It was just like her, crisp, cool, and utterly devoid of warmth. Are you sure? Am I sure? I'm 100% sure. 1,000%. Just sign the damn thing. Don't tell me you've actually fallen for me now. Don't make me laugh. The only person living in that frozen heart of yours is your precious Grayson Cole. Inside, I was mocking her. On the outside, I squeezed out a pathetic, bitter smile, perfectly channeling the original Caleb. Victoria, I know I'm not good enough for you. These last 3 years, it's been unfair to you. Let's just let each other go. Victoria's expression grew even stranger. Her sharp, intelligent eyes were locked on me, as if trying to see right through my skin. Could she hear me? No, impossible. That wasn't part of the novel's plot. I had to be imagining things. Instead of picking up the pen, Victoria leaned back in her leather chair, crossing her arms over her chest. 3 years of being unfair, and you think you can just walk away with a simple "let's let each other go"? What the hell? What's she playing at? Is she trying to get out of paying me? That can't be right. The Sterlings are loaded. $100 million is pocket change to her. Or is that clown Grayson pulling strings behind the scenes again? Whatever. It's not worth the fight. The money can wait, but freedom can't. I took a deep breath, my face twisting into an even more tragic mask of heartbreak. Then, what will it take for you to sign? Just tell me. I'll do anything. Victoria watched my Oscar-worthy performance, the confusion in her eyes practically overflowing. She was hearing a different voice entirely, a voice that was cocky, carefree, and completely at odds with the broken man sitting in front of her. Are we going to do this, or what? My massage therapist is waiting. I heard the new girl is a Swedish bombshell, and her hands work magic. Oh man, I can feel the knots in my back loosening already. A faint blush, for no discernible reason, crept up Victoria's cheeks. What in the world was this man thinking about? Just then, a sharp knock echoed on the office door. "Come in," Victoria said, her Ice Queen persona snapping back into place. The door swung open, and a man in an expensive white suit strode in, radiating charm. Grayson Cole, the original Caleb's nightmare, and Victoria's one true love. Well, speak of the devil. Clown number 1 has entered the ring. Look at him, all polished and preppy. You'd almost think he was a decent human being. My heart was singing, but my face appropriately displayed a look of anxiety and shame. The moment Grayson entered, his eyes landed on me, a sneer of undisguised contempt on his face. "Caleb, you still have the nerve to be here." He then turned to Victoria, his voice melting into a syrupy, sweet tone. "Tori, I heard this loser was causing trouble for you again. I'll handle it." As he spoke, he reached for the divorce agreement on the desk. "Handle it? How are you going to handle it? Beat me up and throw me out? How original. Your pathetic little schemes only work on a love-struck idiot like Victoria. Speaking of which, Marcus should be making his move right about now. I gave him a direct order. I want to see Cole Enterprises' stock price take a nosedive within 3 minutes. It's been 2 minutes and 50 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 3, 2, 1. Drop. I counted down silently in my head. Victoria's pupils contracted. She had heard every single word. Marcus? Who was that? Stock price take a nosedive. Almost instinctively, she unlocked her phone and opened her stock market app. Cole Enterprises, Grayson's company, was right at the top of her watch list. And in that exact second, the green line representing its value fell off a cliff, plunging downward at an impossible angle. Dash 5%, dash 10%. In a matter of seconds, it hit the circuit breaker and was halted. BZZBZ. Grayson's phone began vibrating violently. He glanced at the caller ID, and his face went white, all his earlier confidence vanishing into thin air. "Tori, I have an emergency at the office. I have to—" He didn't even finish his sentence before he was scrambling out the door, fumbling to answer his phone. "What? A hostile takeover? How is that possible? Find them. Find out who's behind this. Now." Silence descended on the office, leaving just me and Victoria. A dead, heavy silence. Victoria's gaze slowly, inch by inch, moved from her phone screen to my face. She was looking at me like I was some kind of alien. Her stare was making my skin crawl. Now what's her problem? Is she upset that Grayson left? Can't be. Or is she just stunned by my devastating good looks again? Man, being this handsome is such a burden. I clear my throat, deciding to break the awkward tension. "So, Victoria, now that Mr. Cole is gone, can we get back to it?" I gestured toward the divorce agreement. "Sign it. For the love of God, sign it. Set me free." "No." 2 cold words fell from her lips. She stood up, looking down at me, her eyes filled with a new, probing intensity and a flicker of something she herself didn't recognize. "Interest. I'm not signing this agreement. Not right now." "What? Are you kidding me? What happened to a clean break? Woman, don't push me." My mind was raging, but my face crumpled into a look of utter devastation. "Why? Victoria, are you still mad at me?" Starting today, you're moving into the master bedroom." Victoria interrupted my performance, dropping a bombshell that left me completely stunned. "The master bedroom? What the hell? With you? Lady, we're supposed to be getting divorced. I like beautiful women, but you're a human glacier. I have no desire to get frostbite. Besides, my goal is to relax, not to be forced to work overtime every single night." Hearing my thoughts, Victoria's face grew uncontrollably hot. "Work overtime? That bastard." She took a deep breath, forcing herself to remain calm. "Until I figure a few things out, you're not going anywhere." And with that, she turned and strode out of the office on her high heels, leaving me standing there, utterly bewildered. Figure a few things out. What did she need to figure out? Could it be that she could actually hear my thoughts? The ridiculous idea flashed through my mind. No, absolutely impossible. The world wasn't that crazy. It had to be a coincidence. A very, very dramatic coincidence. In the end, Victoria practically escorted me back home herself, to the sprawling mansion where I'd lived for 3 years, relegated to a small room next to the staff quarters. The moment we walked in, she issued her first command: make dinner. Dinner? I'm supposed to make you dinner? Why? Is your six-figure personal chef just for decoration? I only cook for my future wife, not for some ice queen who's about to become my ex-wife. I grumbled internally, but verbally it was the picture of compliance. Okay, whatever. When in Rome, once she figured out whatever it was she needed to figure out, I'd take the money and be on my way. I walked into the kitchen, which was better equipped than most five-star restaurants, and opened the massive Sub-Zero fridge. A 5 Wagyu, bluefin tuna, Australian lobster. The works. TSK, TSK. So wasteful. It's a shame this woman has no idea how to enjoy life. All she eats is that rabbit food her nutritionist plans out. A total crime against cuisine. I expertly tied an apron around my waist and pulled a chef's knife from the block, giving it a flashy spin on my finger. If I was going to do this, I might as well do it right. Consider it a pre-celebration of my impending freedom. Half an hour later, pan-seared scallops with a saffron risotto, a dry-aged ribeye with a red wine reduction, a classic beef Wellington, and a delicate asparagus soup. 4 beautiful, aromatic dishes were laid out on the dining table. Victoria sat at the table, staring at the culinary works of art in front of her, completely dumbfounded. For 3 years, Caleb Vance had acted so helpless he couldn't even open a pickle jar. When did he learn to cook? And at this level of mastery, what are you gawking at? Never seen food before? Eat. It's gonna get cold. You're lucky to be tasting this. I was saving these skills for my future angel. Victoria, the lovesick fool, somehow managed to ignore the angel part and fixated on something else. These skills, had he learned them for someone special? She picked up her fork and took a small bite of the Wellington. The pastry was flaky, the beef tender and juicy, melting in her mouth. An indescribable feeling of happiness spread from her taste buds through her entire body. It was incredible, better than any Michelin-starred restaurant she'd ever been to. She tried a spoonful of the soup. It was light, yet the flavor was deep, complex, and layered. This man, how many other secrets was he hiding? She looked at him as he dug into his food with gusto, and for the first time, she felt a spark of genuine curiosity. Was he really the useless freeloader everyone thought he was? Or had he been putting on an act for the past 3 years? But why would he do that? Who was the Marcus he'd thought about earlier? How did he know Coal Enterprises stock was going to crash? 1,000 questions tangled themselves in her mind. After dinner, I dutifully cleared the plates. Man, what a life. Not only am I the chef, I'm the dishwasher too. As soon as I get that money, I'm hiring a dozen maids to wait on me hand and foot. Victoria watched my busy silhouette in the kitchen, and on a strange impulse, she spoke. From now on, you'll be in charge of all the meals at home. My hand slipped, and a plate nearly crashed to the floor. Are you serious? You're getting addicted to this, aren't you? Trying to turn me into your long-term meal ticket? Not a chance. The second I get an opportunity, I'm out of here. Okay, I said, turning around with a smile that was meant to convey it would be my honor. Victoria looked at my two-faced act, and the corner of her mouth, against all odds, twitched upwards into the faintest of smiles. It was almost cute. The thought appeared and was immediately extinguished. She had to be losing her mind. The next day, under the pretext of needing to get out and clear my head, I successfully escaped Victoria's watch. Ah, the sweet air of freedom. I was going to go crazy, cooped up with that woman. Today, I'm treating myself to a meal at Aura to soothe my wounded soul. Aura was the most famous private kitchen in the city. The owner was a world-renowned chef who only served 3 tables a night, making reservations nearly impossible to get. For me, of course, that wasn't an issue, because the restaurant was one of my assets. I strolled casually toward the restaurant's discreet entrance, only to see a familiar figure. Victoria. What's she doing here? And in casual clothes, no less. Damn it. Is she stalking me? Did she put a tracker on me or something? I can't even get a meal in peace. Victoria's posture stiffened. She had just wanted to try this legendary restaurant today. What were the chances of running into him? I pretended not to see her and headed straight for the door. Good evening, sir. Do you have a reservation? The host asked politely, stopping me. Before I could answer, a bright, cheerful voice called out, "He doesn't need one." I looked toward the sound and saw a young woman in a pale yellow sundress, her long hair flowing over her shoulders, a sweet smile on her face. Her skin was fair, her eyes curved into crescents when she smiled, and she radiated the warmth of a sunny summer day. Chloe Miller, the owner of Aura's only daughter, and, according to the book, my future. Leading lady. Wow, it's my angel. She's even cuter in person than the book described. That smile could melt glaciers. Okay, play it cool. Don't want to scare her off. Chloe walked up to me, looking me over with curiosity. So you're the mysterious majority partner, Mr. Thorne was telling me about. The one who only likes my dad's cooking. Mr. Thorne was my right-hand man, Marcus Thorne. I smiled, neither confirming nor denying. The food here is definitely to my taste. Of course it is. My dad's the best chef in the world. Chloe puffed out her chest proudly, then winked at me. Today, I'm going to make you one of my signature dishes. How about it? This is happening too fast. My angel wants to cook for me. What did I do to deserve this? I must have saved the galaxy in a past life. My mind was already setting off fireworks, but my face remained a mask of calm composure. I would be honored. In a secluded corner, Victoria watched the two of us chatting happily, her hand tightening around her water glass. She heard Caleb's unfiltered joy and excitement in his thoughts, and a strange, sour feeling churned in her stomach. Angel, so that's who he meant. The person he wanted to cook for was her. He, like that type, cute, sweet like a ray of sunshine. Victoria looked down at her own monochrome outfit and her perpetually neutral expression. For the first time in her life, she felt a sliver of self-doubt. It was the Sterling Industries annual corporate gala. As Victoria's husband in name only, my attendance was mandatory. I stood in a corner in a cheap, off-the-rack suit, trying my best to blend into the wallpaper. Boring. So unbelievably boring. All these fake smiles are giving me secondhand embarrassment. I'd rather be at home with my new whiskey distilling kit. My apple brandy should be just about ready to bottle. Victoria stood across the room, holding a glass of champagne, but her eyes never quite left my corner. She was wearing a stunning black backless gown tonight, the picture of aloof elegance, the undeniable center of attention. But all of her attention was on the man in the corner. She listened to his mental critiques of the catering, his sarcastic commentary on the decor, and the corners of her lips curled up in a smile no one else could see. This man was far more interesting than she had ever imagined. Suddenly, a dissonant voice cut through the air. Well, if it isn't the Sterling's kept man, hiding in the corner, stuffing your face. Where's Tori? I guess she was too embarrassed to be seen with you. Grayson Cole, holding a glass of wine, sauntered over with a mocking grin. His company had taken a massive hit from that stock crash, and he still hadn't figured out who was behind it. But that didn't stop him from trying to assert his dominance over me. The clown returns. I guess that last stock drop wasn't exciting enough for him. Fina, for Victoria's sake, I'll just go ahead and bankrupt you completely tonight. Marcus, time to go. You have 10 minutes. Acquire all remaining shares of his company, then package up all the evidence of his dirty dealings and send it to the SEC. I looked up, meeting Grayson's eyes with a look one might give a dead man walking. My stare seemed to throw him off, and his face flushed with anger. What are you looking at? You're a worthless freeloader. How dare you glare at me? He was about to say more when a commotion erupted at the entrance to the ballroom. It's Mr. Warren. Mr. Warren from Apex Global is here. Oh my God, what's he doing at a Sterling gala? The crowd parted like the Red Sea. A powerfully built middle-aged man, flanked by a team of bodyguards, strode into the room. Apex Global was the biggest conglomerate in the country, at least 10 times the size of Sterling Industries. Victoria's father, the chairman of the board, immediately rushed over, his face plastered with a sycophantic smile. Mr. Warren, what an honor. Your presence truly brightens our humble gathering. But Mr. Warren only gave him a polite nod, his eyes scanning the room. Finally, his gaze locked onto me. To the absolute shock of everyone present, he walked through the crowd, straight toward my corner, and bowed respectfully. Mr. Vance, I didn't realize you would be here. The entire ballroom fell silent. Jaws were on the floor. Victoria's father looked like he could swallow a tennis ball. The smirk on Grayson's face froze solid. Victoria's hand, holding her champagne flute, began to tremble. Ugh, is it that hard to keep a low profile? I just wanted to grab some free food. Warren is so extra. Why all the theatrics? I looked at the deferential CEO in front of me and sighed. Warren, how many times have I told you? You don't need to be so formal when we're out. Mister. Warren straightened up, his face beaming. Yes, of course, my apologies. I was just so surprised and delighted to see you here. In that moment, Victoria's entire world tilted on its axis. Mr. Vance, this man, scorned by everyone, ignored by her for 3 years, was someone that the CEO of Apex Global treated with reverence. What had she done? After that little scene, I became the gala's invisible main event. No one dared approach me with insults anymore, but I could feel hundreds of curious, fearful, and speculative gazes on me like spotlights. So annoying. I knew I shouldn't have come. Where's my angel? I don't see her. And just as I thought it, I saw her. Chloe was here, representing Aura. Right now, she was cornered by some greasy-haired trust fund kid, her face a mask of discomfort and disgust. Come on, Miss Miller just one dance? My dad owns half the real estate on the west side. Another fly. This guy looks like a troll. What gave him the right to bother my angel? I set down my plate of mini quiches and walked over. She doesn't want to dance with you. Can't you tell? My voice wasn't loud, but made the rich kid jump. He turned, saw it was me, and after a moment of confusion, he seemed to recall the scene with Mr. Warren. His bravado deflated instantly. Who are you? This is none of your business. I'm her boyfriend. I lied without blinking, pulling Chloe behind me. Chloe's face turned bright red, but she didn't pull away. Instead, her fingers secretly curled around the hem of my jacket. Wow, her hand is so soft, and she smells so good. Like peaches. Okay, Caleb, be cool, you're just acting. The trust fund kid's face went from pale to green, but he didn't have the guts to challenge a mysterious powerhouse like me and slunk away. Thank you, Chloe whispered from behind me, her voice as soft as a kitten's. Anytime, I turned to face her, and the sight of her flushed cheeks made my heart skip a beat. So cute. I want to pinch her cheeks. Resist. Resist. Let me take you home. This place isn't safe. Okay. I led Chloe out of the ballroom, under the weight of 100 complicated stairs. From the second-floor balcony, Victoria watched it all. She saw the protective way I shielded Chloe, saw the shy, trusting look on Chloe's face. She heard the unrestrained joy and excitement in my thoughts. A sharp, unfamiliar pain pierced her heart. So, he knew how to be gentle. His gentleness just wasn't for her. So, he wasn't emotionless. He just saved his emotions for another girl. Boyfriend? He lied for her without a second thought. And she, his legal legitimate wife, was nothing more than an ice queen, a problem, and the woman who's about to be my ex-wife in his mind. A cool night breeze swept across the balcony, and Victoria felt a chill that went straight to the bone. For the first time, she knew the bitter taste of regret. After the gala, Chloe started visiting me often. Sometimes she'd bring little desserts she'd baked herself. Other times, she'd drag me out to explore hidden culinary gems across the city. Today, she'd shown up again. I was in the middle of a workout in the mansion's home gym. Phew. Another day, another victory for self-discipline. 8-pack abs, V-cut obliques. I am a master of my domain. Chloe peeked her head in, and her eyes widened when she saw me shirtless. Her face went crimson, but her eyes were sparkling as they shamelessly scanned my abs. Wow, Caleb, you're in amazing shape. She walked in, holding a thermal container. I made you some soup. My angel is here with snacks again. This is the life. Although, the way she's looking at me, it's like a puppy spotting a steak. I stopped my crunches and grabbed a towel to wipe the sweat from my brow. Chloe came right up to me and, summoning her courage, reached out a single finger and tentatively poked my stomach. It was solid. Can I touch them? She asked, looking up at me, her eyes full of hope. She wants to touch my abs. She's making a move on me. What do I do? Do I play hard to get? Or just surrender completely? No. Maintain composure. I'm a gentleman. My mind was at war with itself, but my body stood perfectly still. Ahem. Just for a second. Permission granted. Chloe's eyes curved into happy little moons. She placed her small hand on my stomach, tracing the lines of my abs as if they were a priceless sculpture. Incredible, she mumbled. I felt a jolt of electricity shoot through me from her touch, and my muscles tensed instantly. Stay calm, Caleb. You are a man of honor. Do not have indecent thoughts. She is an innocent angel. I was trying to talk myself down when the gym door was suddenly pushed open. Victoria stood in the doorway, her expression colder than a Siberian winter. She saw Chloe's hand on my stomach, saw my bare chest, and the temperature in the room dropped to absolute zero. Chloe yelped and snatched her hand back, hiding behind me. Oh crap, why is the Ice Queen here? I thought she was at the office. Busted. There's no explaining my way out of this one. Then again, why should I be scared? We're about to be divorced. Who I hang out with is none of her business. I met Victoria's gaze without flinching. Need something? Victoria didn't look at me. Her eyes were like daggers, pinned on Chloe. The look was so sharp, so cold, that Chloe physically shrank behind me. I frowned and took a step forward, blocking Chloe from her view. Ms. Sterling, this is my guest. My protectiveness was like a needle, stabbing Victoria right in the heart. Ms. Sterling. He called her Ms. Sterling. So formal, so distant. Your guest. Victoria let out a cold laugh. Caleb, don't forget, you are still my legal husband. Do you think it's appropriate to be carrying on with another woman in my house? Ha, she's mad. She's actually jealous. Interesting. But so what? Where was this energy for the past 3 years? It's too late for regrets now. I looked at Victoria's frost-covered face and felt a sixth sense of satisfaction. No, it's not appropriate. Which is why, I said, enunciating every word, we should finalize our divorce as soon as possible. My name was trending on Twitter. The hashtag was bizarre. Caleb Vance didn't get out of bed again. It all started when a financial blogger revealed that the mysterious owner of Apex Global, Mr. Vance, had a peculiar habit. He never went into the office. The most important daily task for his executive team was to confirm whether their boss had, in fact, not gotten out of bed. As long as the boss was chilling at home, the company's stock price would, for some reason, soar. At first, everyone thought it was a joke. Then, a Wall Street analyst wrote a piece arguing that this hands-off management style fostered maximum trust and creativity within his teams, which was the secret to Apex Global's incredible success. Overnight, I became the internet's patron saint of slacking off, the Zen CEO. Countless office workers were tweeting under the hashtag, praying for a boss just like me. Trending for doing nothing? This generation of the internet is something else. But they're not wrong. Hire smart people, let them do their jobs, and you just sit back and count the money. That's the ultimate life hack. I scrolled through my phone, thoroughly amused. Grayson Cole was losing his mind. He'd spent a fortune hiring bots and trolls to smear my name, but real users just swarmed them, calling them jealous haters and tearing them to shreds. He had to watch as I transformed from a worthless freeloader into a celebrated business genius. The whiplash was enough to give him a breakdown. Victoria's feelings were far more complicated. She read all the praise and admiration online, then thought back to her 3 years of coldness and contempt, and her face burned with shame. So his laziness was actually strategic genius. His uselessness was just him hiding in plain sight. The very thing she had despised most about me was actually my greatest strength. That night, for the first time in years, Victoria didn't stay late at the office. She changed out of her power suit and into a simple dress. She even ventured into the kitchen, attempting to cook me a meal. The result was nearly burning the house down. When I smelled the smoke and rushed in, I found her standing helplessly in a thick haze, her beautiful face smudged with soot like a chimney sweep. Good Lord, what is this woman trying to do? Assassinate me? This isn't cooking. It's an arson attempt. I quickly flipped on the industrial-grade vent hood and threw open the windows. Victoria stood off to the side, watching me expertly handle the mess, her eyes downcast. I just wanted to kill me, so you could inherit my fortune. I snapped, not in the mood. This kitchen is my sanctuary. These knives and pans are custom-made. If she ruined a single piece, I'd lose my mind. My sharp words left her speechless, and her eyes started to well up. She had just wanted to do something for me, to make amends, even just a little. I'm sorry, she said quietly. It was the first time she had ever apologized to me. I paused for a second. Did hell freeze over? The Ice Queen is apologizing? A little too late for that. I didn't acknowledge her apology. I just steered her out of the kitchen. Get out. Don't make a bigger mess. I'll make dinner. As the kitchen door swung shut in her face, Victoria leaned against the cold wall, and a wave of helpless despair washed over her. Victoria started trying to be nice to me in her own clumsy way. She'd have the chef prepare the dishes I liked. She'd buy the rare, limited edition brewing equipment I'd been looking at online and have it delivered. She even canceled an important board meeting just to watch TV with me. I sat on the couch, watching some mind-numbing teen drama, feeling completely out of place. What is her endgame here? Is she trying to play the part of the loving wife? Doesn't she think it's a little late for that? If she has this much free time, she could be signing the divorce papers. Everybody wins. Victoria sat beside me, stiff as a board, her eyes constantly darting over to me. She heard my thoughts, and her heart sank lower and lower. Caleb, she finally said, mustering her courage. Can we not get a divorce? What? Did I hear that right? No divorce? Lady, did you hit your head? You're the one who treated me like garbage, and now you want a second chance? Dream on. My future wife is an angel like Chloe, not a walking freezer like you. I turned my head and looked at her face, which held a fragile expression of hope and anxiety, and I smirked. Ms. Sterling, are you joking? My voice was laced with undisguised mockery. Between us, what is there besides a piece of paper? Love? Don't be ridiculous. You love Grayson Cole. I just want to relax. The color drained from Victoria's face. I don't. Grayson and I are just. Whatever your relationship is, I'm not interested, I said, standing up to look down on her. All I know is that our marriage was a mistake from the very beginning. It's time to correct that mistake. Victoria, sign it. This is the last time I'm going to ask you nicely. I pulled a freshly printed copy of the divorce agreement from a drawer and tossed it onto the coffee table in front of her. Victoria stared at the papers, and a tear finally escaped, tracing a silent path down her perfect cheek before splashing onto the glass table. She's crying? Now she's crying? If you knew this would happen, you shouldn't have acted that way in the first place. I have to admit, though, she's beautiful when she cries. Tragic, poetic, all that. Too bad it doesn't work on me. My heart already belongs to my angel. My mind was a calm sea. In fact, I almost wanted to laugh. Victoria heard my cold, detached thoughts, and her heart shattered. She understood now. It was too late. The person she had pushed away was never coming back. She had lost. Utterly and completely. Grayson Cole snapped. After his company was completely absorbed by one of my shell corporations, and the SEC came knocking with a mountain of evidence, he did the stupidest thing imaginable. He turned to kidnapping. He kidnapped Chloe. He called me, his voice wild and unhinged. Caleb, you care about this girl, don't you? Bring 50% of Sterling Industries stock certificates to the abandoned factory by the old shipyard. Come alone. If you don't, I'll send her back to you in pieces. I was in the middle of a video call with Marcus when the call came through. Kidnapping? He's really going with a plot from a bad 80s movie? That guy is dumber than a bag of hammers. Does he really think I come alone? I looked at Marcus on the screen and made a quick hand gesture. Marcus nodded, understanding immediately. Don't worry, boss. 5 minutes. Hostage secure, suspect in custody. I ended the call, my expression completely calm, but I decided to go myself anyway. My angel was scared, and I needed to be the first person she saw when it was over. By the time I got to the factory, my security team already had the perimeter locked down. Inside, Grayson was pinned to the grimy floor by several of my men. Chloe was safe, just a little pale. Her eyes lit up when she saw me, and she ran into my arms, burying her face in my chest. Caleb, I was so scared. I held her soft, trembling body, breathing in her faint, sweet scent, and rubbing her back gently. It's okay. I'm here. You're safe now. Poor thing. She must have been terrified. That bastard Grayson. I'm going to make sure he really enjoys his time in prison. Safe in my arms, feeling the steady beat of my heart, Chloe slowly began to calm down. She looked up at me, her eyes wet with tears. Then she stood on her toes and pressed a soft, gentle kiss to my lips. It was brief, a feather-light touch, and then it was gone. I froze. She kissed me. She kissed me. Yeah. My first kiss. So soft. So sweet. It tastes like peaches. The little man inside my head was doing backflips and setting off a fireworks display. After the kiss, Chloe was too shy to look at me, hiding her face in my chest again. I held her close, a massive, goofy grin spreading across my face that I couldn't have stopped if I tried. And all of this was witnessed by Victoria, who had just arrived. She saw the tenderness with which I held Chloe, saw Chloe's bold kiss, and saw the radiant, genuine smile on my face, a smile she had never seen before. She stood in the shadows, an outsider looking in on a perfect moment. And in that instant, she finally understood what she had lost. It was someone who would have sheltered her from every storm, someone who would have fought the world for her, the best man she would ever know. With Grace and Cole behind bars, life was good. And thanks to my heroic rescue, my relationship with Chloe was heating up fast. We explored the city's food truck scene, eating our way from one end of the block to the other. I watched her nibble on a taco, her cheeks puffed out like a little chipmunk's, and I couldn't resist reaching out to pinch her cheek. Adorable. I want one. Chloe blushed and slapped my hand away playfully, then held up her candied apple for me to take a bite. Here, this one's the sweetest. I bit into it, and the sweetness flooded straight to my heart. We went to see an old black and white movie at an indie theater, and in the darkness, our hands found each other. Her hands are so small, so soft. I never want to let go. Her fingers traced a little pattern on my palm, tickling me, sending shivers up my arm. Our relationship finally went public during one of Chloe's live streams. She was reviewing a new bakery, and I showed up as a special guest. The comments section exploded. OMG, it's the Zen CEO, Caleb Vance. My worlds are colliding. This is the ultimate crossover. What's their relationship? They look so cute together. The host voiced the question on everyone's mind. Chloe, who is this handsome man? Chloe looked at me, her eyes full of stars. She didn't say a word. She just picked up a warm pastry, blew on it gently, and popped it into my mouth. The gesture was natural, intimate. Then she turned back to the camera, her smile stretching from ear to ear, and announced in a clear, happy voice. Oh, him? He's mine. The internet went wild. It's official. It's official. My ship has sailed. BRB crying, I'm so single, but I'm so happy for them. I'm so jealous. I want a boyfriend who's hot, rich, and totally devoted. I looked at the girl beside me, who was grinning like a cat that had gotten the cream, and shook my head with a fond, indulgent smile. Such a little tyrant. But I love it. I wrapped an arm around her and pulled her close, placing a soft kiss on her forehead. The entire world bore witness to our happiness. Except for one person, Victoria. She sat alone in her vast, empty office, staring at the painfully happy scene on her phone screen. Her heart felt like it was being squeezed by an invisible hand, the pain so intense it was hard to breathe. She finally realized that being abandoned by everyone wasn't the worst kind of pain. The worst pain was watching the treasure you'd once thrown away shine brighter than the sun in someone else's hands. I finally got the signed divorce papers. Victoria had asked to meet at the coffee shop where we'd had our first awkward, businesslike date. She looked tired, with faint dark circles under her eyes, but she was still beautiful. She pushed the agreement across the table. Her signature was on the last page. The handwriting was elegant, but I could see a slight, almost imperceptible tremor in the ink. It's what you wanted, she said, her voice hoarse. Finally, freedom. I'm finally free. I snatched up the papers and read them over twice, making sure everything was in order before folding them carefully and placing them in my jacket pocket. Thank you, I said, and I meant it. Thank you for letting me go. Victoria saw the look of pure relief on my face and gave a small, self-deprecating laugh. Caleb, can I ask you one last question? Shoot, I was in a great mood. I could afford to be generous. If, in the beginning, I hadn't been so cold to you, do you think we could have had a different ending? She looked at me, her eyes holding one last, desperate flicker of hope. A different ending? Of course. If you had been nice to me from the start, if you hadn't been tangled up with that clown Grayson, maybe I would have tried to like you. You're gorgeous, after all. Great body. But there are no what-ifs. Now all I want is to spend a long, lazy life with my angel. As for you, you were just a stop along the way. I listened to the answer in my head, looked at the hopeful woman across from me, and chose a kinder, simpler version. There are no what-ifs. For simple words that shattered her final illusion. She closed her eyes, and 2 silent tears rolled down her cheeks. She could still hear his thoughts. They were full of bright, happy plans for the future, a future with another woman. Gotta go pick up Chloe. We're trying that new sushi place tonight. Next month, we're going to the Maldives. I'll rent out a private island so we can watch the sunset every night. Her ring finger is so tiny, the ring will have to be custom made. I'll use that flawless diamond I bought at auction in South Africa last year. The heart of eternity. Perfect. Every thought was a new cut from a very sharp knife. I walked out of the city hall, feeling lighter than air. The sun was bright. Chloe was waiting for me under a sycamore tree, wearing a white sundress, smiling at me. I walked toward her and pulled her into a tight embrace. Behind me, Victoria stood alone on the steps, watching us, her figure so thin and fragile she looked like she might be carried away by the wind. She knew, in that moment she signed her name, that she had lost the best man in the world. And maybe this was her punishment. The greatest tragedy in life isn't what you can't have. It's what you could have had. End.